Elvis Travels. I can buy you a new van. Not a problem. Not for me. So here's the deal, Elvis. The old machine's getting a little bit old there. You know, you got a couple of issues with it and whatnot. High fuel consumption, amongst other things, you know. A lot of issues, you know. I honestly think it's too big for you and takes too much fuel, and you need to minimise from having an overcab bed, a friggin' sofa bed and a bed in the back down to something more realistic, more fuel efficient, where you can actually stealth camp on the street. So I'm going to give you a few options here. You can have a Chev Caprice, like a 91, 92 model station wagon. You know, they're 5-litre V8, but they're very efficient. You can actually fold down the back seats, and they bloody well fold flat, properly flat, unlike that stupid wagon I've got. And apparently when you do that, you can put an 8x4 bit of plywood in the back. What I'm trying to say is there's plenty of room in there for a bed. Failing that, maybe a Ford Aerostar if we can even find one. And I'm thinking more like a Chev Lumina APV or something along those lines, you know. And probably not a Windstar, you know, that's a little bit too new, you know, because the budget's, you know, about $500 or something like that. You know, I'm not going to go over the top here because, you know, you're lucky you're getting an offer or anything. But see, with this, there's going to be conditions, right? So you asking Joe King if he wanted to have a cage fight with you. Well, here's the deal. If you get this van, as part of the stuff that you got to do, you got to bloody perform here. You know, not just fucking handing this shit over. Doesn't work like that. You've got to prove your worth. So there's a couple of blooming tests you got to go through. First of all, cage fight with Joe King, right? Then, secondarily, you got to have you got to fight Coates, Ginger Boy. Now, thirdly, you got to fight Tasha. Now, we've got to make it all fair, right? So Tasha's got to be in a dress with lipstick, right? And you've got to be in a dress with lipstick also. And don't fuck the lipstick up. I don't want like clown face or something. Put the lipstick on properly, right? So you've got to be, so we've got to make it fair. Tasha, lipstick and dress. And same with you, lipstick and dress. Now, I don't know, there might be a couple of others that want to pile in, but we might just leave it at that. So, Tasha, Coach 9500 and Joe King. Alright, there we go. That'll be enough. I felt like adding on Brad Silverdog and Whiskey OG, but we'll just leave it at that, alright? So, if you survive all that, right, then I'll get you one of them vans. Now, so I've got the Chev Lumina APV, I've got the Ford Aerostar, and I've got the Chev Caprice station wagon. They should be about right, I reckon. They should be like, you know, $500 or less. So there we go. That's what the budget's at anyway. So, there's a few extra conditions on this, right? I need to put a box in the van that's an engine immobiliser. So if you're driving along and you start talking shit again about trolls or fucking this, that, the other, I'm going to have an Arduino circuit that uses cell phone towers for data, right? Because you can have that as a add-on patch. And it's going to be set up to run through the engine system so that I can cut the engine if I decide I want to cut the engine remotely. So, you know, you start talking shit about fucking trolls while you're driving and whatever, you know, blah, 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 you know, or I'm just going to hit the fucking button, right? But it doesn't end there. That's probably the worst one of all. So if the cops want you to move and I think you've been a bad boy, I can just decide you can't start the car. There you go. But there's got to be a couple of other ones too. So I want one hooked to a relay for the headlights so I can flash the headlights. And then I also want one for the horn. Now this is a safety feature. I'm doing you a favour here. So if you have a heart attack or a stroke mid-hangout, I can just, you know, press the button and over here and bang, and just hold the horn down for like a minute or whatever. Maybe even 2 minutes. Until someone comes and sees, like, you know, that you had a heart attack and then they, you know. And if nobody knows where you are, how's the audience supposed to be able to say, oh, well, he's in this, you know. If they can't dox you, how are they going to ring the ambulance for you? Nobody's going to know. So you need someone, you know, no one on the hangout's watching the hangout's going to know. Because if they don't know your location, then they're fucked. They can't, where's the ambulance supposed to go? So you need someone who's walking past. So if I hold down the horn for like 2 minutes for you, someone will fucking come over to see what's going on, you know, and that'll be a bit of a lifesaver, you know. The other one is if you're going to fall asleep in the middle of a hangout, like as you're about, oh, and you're just starting to feel a little bit queasy, well, you know, just hold the horn. It'll help wake you up. It'll stop you for the embarrassment of snoring on a live stream again. Just saying, you know. Safety feature. Maybe if I see the cops driving the other way, I'll also give the horn a bit of a blast and flash the headlights and whatever, you know. I just, you know, this is part of the conditions of having this vehicle. I need to do a few, you know. So anyway, that's the dealio. And, you know, you're going to upgrade to something that's quite a bit better. Sell the Lisa Marie to Hosey or whatever. Live off the money, do whatever you want with it, you know. But I can get you another van, you know, and look, let's face it. Aerostar worth $500 or a Chev APV, you know, you get fairly reasonable ones for bloody $240, $400, stuff like, you know, they're cheap as dirt. You know, so you'll be able to get a really nice one for $500, you know. You might be more a Chev Caprice. I mean, you can't really, you know, there's not as much height on the roof with a Chev Caprice station wagon, but like, you know, at least they're friggin' big machine. You know, they're big, a big V8 machine, and I'm sure the seats would suit you because it's a big vehicle. You know, it's one of the old school fucking big machines. You know. It doesn't matter how heavy you get, when you sit in the driver's seat of that, suspension's not going to sag because it's made for big people, that car. No question about it. You know, she's a big yank tank, as they say over here. But anyway, there's your three options. And, you know, like it's just 3 cage fights and you're fucking there. New machine, didn't have to pull any more, well, not brand new, but you know what I'm saying. Some that's, you know, the paint isn't faded as fuck, the dash heater still works properly, you know, just things that, you know, Hey, you get the right one of those blooming Chev APVs, and the friggin', I think even the Aerostar's got it too. I know the APV's got it. They got the rear heating, so you can actually heat up the back before you go to bed. So you can drive to wherever you're going to stealth camp, and if it takes you 10-15 minutes, well, you've heated up the back for 10 or 15 minutes. You know. So anyway, there's your friggin', there's the offer on the table, and yeah.